We'd like to call this commission regular session to order. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Dominic.
Here.
Johnson. Williams. Lynn.
Present.
Bowman,
Present.
Baker.
Here.
Escaday.
Here.
Thibodeau,
Here.
Cox.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
I'm here, I just didn't say it.
I know. We have prayer by Commissioner Williams, who did not address himself as being here. And prayers by Commissioner
I'm your
Escaday.
spirit. Oh, Heavenly Father, we come before you with bowed down heads and humble hearts. Lord, we ask that you would prick our conscience, let it be focused on the issues at hand. We pray for our country and our nation, Lord, and we pray that our men and women who are serving in the armed forces, let us do things decent and in order. Help us to agree, but be disagreeable and also be respectful. Father, we ask it all in your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag, render the proper address, and say along with me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now you get it. You're almost there, son.
All right. The spirit is alive and well.
Hey.
Next item, Mr.
Are there any agenda additions? There being none, we move to Commission Citizens Tax Board Review Tax Assessment for the year 2013.
How are y'all doing? My name is Charlie Hennington. I'm the assessor for Caddo Parish. I'll read a little letter I give you every year. That's, dear members of the Board of Review, as assessor in and for the parish of Caddo, this is to certify that the assessments on property located in and or accessible in Caddo Parish have been listed and assessed in accordance with Title 47, Section 1992. It is further certified that the said assessments have been exposed for public review for 15 calendar days, beginning August 15th, 2013, ending August 29th, 2013. Said certification of the above is hereby given to the Board of Review as required by Title 47, 1992. We have appeals this year, like we do every year. We probably have about 15 appeals so far. That is the number. It will be the max. We'll be talking to the taxpayers over the next few days, and they might come up with a different value, but we do need to set a date to hear them. Usually it's y'all's work day before the next meeting. Yeah, we need to set an appeal hearing date. It's usually the work day 2 weeks.
I make a motion that we set an appeal hearing at our next workshop.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by
The
Commissioner
only time we get them
Williams.
to come up here.
It's the only time I want to come up here.
Yes, first son.
Charlie, when is the, pardon,
Yes, sir.
you finished?
Wait a minute.
Machine.
Go ahead, Ken.
When is the last day that citizens can file for an appeal?
Last Friday.
Last Friday, so
Yes.
that's open.
Right. That's why I said that the max would be 15.
Okay.
And, right, we're in the negotiations with 2 or 3 of them already.
Okay.
A lot of us, they just got to send more information in so we can look at the assessments. But, they hadn't finished producing the documentation yet.
Okay. Commissioner Escaday.
And how many cases do you anticipate?
Right now we have
Be unresolved.
15, probably end up with 4 or 5.
4 or 5, and that should take what, an hour?
A lot of places give them 30 minutes apiece.
We're not a lot of places.
Well, other parishes and other states, but I think probably 20, 25 minutes probably per account.
I'm trying to figure out what time should we
I was
meet?
going to say we need to set a time for about 2 o'clock
Okay,
Tuesday?
that's fine.
on our next work session. Our work session is at 3:30.
Right, so that may be cutting it a little close. How about 1:30?
1:30?
Yeah. 1:30 on the 16th? Okay.
Well, if you know would you do a favor and work with Mr. Hopkins and if perhaps you should get that number down to 1 or 2?
Yeah, I will.
Let him know so we can adjust that time so we're not sitting up here.
Right, every couple of days I'll give them an update.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Commissioner,
I don't want to put it out public, but do you recall whether you got, any address from Pines Road area?
Pinecrest Mobile Home Park,
Okay, all right.
but not Pines Road itself.
Okay, I'm nothing off Pines Road.
No,
Okay, thank you.
okay.
is there any more discussion? If not, please vote. That passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we move to citizen comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning, please fill out a comment card located in the foyer, return to the president of the clerk of the commission.
I have 5 cards. Is there any more? Okay, first we have Mr. Billy Montgomery.
Coach, Billy.
Coach Montgomery.
Coach. Well, he was here. He's here. There he is.
You want the yellow? Oh, that'd be a little later.
Madam President and members of the commission, I normally don't like to come and try to get y'all to do things, but I feel like that I'm on the biomed board. And how I got on the biomed board, I dealt with when I was in Baton Rouge, the 20 years, I tried to get that put in to the Medicaid program, but the health and hospitals never seemed to want it to go to the feds to put it in. But my whole story, if you'll look in your folder, the lady has fixed this. If you look at the 5th line on your, the little marks, it sort of tells my whole story.
We don't have it. There we go.
I think it's, oh, there, we're getting it now. I don't expect you to read it, but that 5th is what the biomed has done. And much of the money, of course, we're talking about the renewal. But probably how I got on the board was I was on capital outlay when I was in Baton Rouge, and we was able to bring a lot of things back to this area. But we have an opportunity to get $4.8 million. It passed through the House, passed through the committee, passed through the Senate, and we have reason to believe that we're going to be able to get bonds sold for a new scanner for the PET scan. The one we use now is old, and those are very expensive. And I just feel like if we send a signal to Baton Rouge that we will not give the people an opportunity to vote on an opportunity, they'll think we have plenty of money. So I just think that we need to think, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but I do think that's a terrible signal to send. If I'm chose to go down, I assume I will, since I'm the one that sort of carried this thing through the program with the help of the staff, that if I have to sit in front of the bond commission and they'll say, y'all did not let the people vote to continue for the biomed, I'll have trouble answering that. That's sort of my story.
Thank you, Coach Montgomery. Next, we have Mr. Kevin Pruitt.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my first time here. It's really a privilege to see everyone and meet everyone. My name is Dr. Kevin Pruitt. I'm a scientist at the LSU School of Medicine. I have also a laboratory in the Biomedical Research Institute. And just by way of a little bit of a background, I grew up as the youngest of 10 children, pretty poor, but with a lot of hard work and moral support from the family. I graduated valedictorian of my high school and in Houston. I went to graduate school at UNC Chapel Hill and then did postdoc studies at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in Baltimore. At about a critical point, I guess in 2006, I was faced with the decision to either take a position in a couple other places or here. And it turns out that part of that sort of tilted things in the direction where I came here was a startup package that was provided by the Caddo Parish tax millage. And so I just want to thank you for what you've done in the past and just continue and ask for your continued support because as a scientist, I think it's really important to have a critical mass of scientists at the institution so that we can continue to collaborate and we can continue to have success. So recently, we've been able to secure my lab. In 2010, I secured a $1.3 million grant from the NIH to support research. I'm also a co-investigator on another $1.8 million grant that we recently received this year. And we also have another $1.8 million grant that's pending. And, you know, it looks pretty good. The chances of success are pretty high. My research is focused on cancer biology, colon cancer and breast cancer. And we've made some pretty interesting discoveries recently, and this is something I'm really excited about. I won't take much time, but in a nutshell, what we're seeing is that we think we have the ability to differentiate between tumors that will either respond to therapy and ones that won't, which is critically important because when patients are receiving therapy, it's nice to know which patients are going to respond and which ones aren't. And so we've made some interesting strides with that. We've identified a protein that seems to modulate cellular stress and respond to cellular stress, and we think that this may be a critical switch in determining which cancer cells will respond to the standard of care for breast cancer and colon cancer. So again, I just want to thank you for what you've done in the past and just continue to ask or urge you to continue to support the Caddo Parish tax millage and think that it's going to make a really big difference and impact in terms of translating some of the things that we find in the lab in terms of economic impact and the benefit of the School of Medicine. Thank you.
One moment, Commissioner Bowman.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to first commend you for, first of all, being a young African-American male and being a rare scientist and being a role model here. I also want to commend the work and some of the other scientists have done. I know you all, especially have worked with the PET scans and a lot of development and advancements in how to stop a lot of the cancer treatments. And unfortunately for my mother, she's not here, but I know that you all are helping a lot of other people, and I know it's with you all's assistance with the program and studying that she was able to go from 4 to 6 weeks to 10 months.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good. How you doing, Doc?
Oh, great.
Welcome
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
South. You say you're in Chapel Hill?
I was there.
You Duke or North
No, Carolina Tar Heels.
But when the exception when biomed was being thought about years ago, I flew around the country with Virginia Sheehy and many others, and we looked at the Triangle Park, and they're in Pittsburgh, North Carolina as well. So happy to see you here. It seems like when things get on the agenda, people roll out the red carpet, and it's good to see you. And we have our own PhD. We have a doctor too, Dr. Woodrow Wilson. And hopefully, if you're not involved in the community mentoring, I would love you to work with the program that we all are working with. It's called Swag Nation USA. We're trying to change the sagging in America
Right,
to
that's
address the American, showing American values into our young men. And I would love to have you come and participate and introduce yourself to a group of young men that we're working with. So hey, maybe we can get his card. We can make contact with you. But happy to see you here, and hope we can definitely find a cure. I tell my young people, America wants your mind. They don't want your race, your color.
Right.
They want your education, and to see you working in that area, I'm very appreciative of what you're doing. So hope we find a cure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Craig Lee. Please state your name and address for the record.
We don't recognize you.
My brother, you better stop.
Craig Lee, 1035 Eustis Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. Before I actually talk to you guys about the CCN twine, I want to echo what these gentlemen just talked about. I've actually had to use the PET scan over at the Biomed Center, and they do a wonderful job at the Biomed Center, so I would urge you to also continue with the tax millage. As always, the funding that we receive for Get Up, I think it's important to update the Parish Commission as to what we're doing. You know, at the phase one, every year we do the CC Antoine Black History Celebration. And at the end of the year, we do the 177th celebration this year of CC Antoine's birthday. So this is to invite you guys out this Saturday where we're celebrating CC Antoine's 177th birthday celebration. As we know, Joyce Bowman and Mr. Cox led the legislation to bring the funding for Get Up to actually start to put these cultural economy projects into motion. This year alone, I'm proud to announce, and I'll make the formal presentation next meeting, but now the city of Shreveport through Councilwoman Rose McCullough has leveraged $400,000 from state funding for economic development for housing in and around the CC Antoine Park. And community development has also leveraged another $300,000 for housing in and around CC Antoine Park. And that all started because of the funding that you guys bestowed upon Get Up based on what we're doing with the CC Antoine project. That park has now become the heart of the Allendale Economic Development Initiative. Commissioner Lynch is also working with Mount Canaan, and now the phrase throughout the city is CC Antoine, CC Antoine. So that's a good thing. So we invite you guys to come out. This year we're going to give the Lifetime Achievement Award to Senator Greg Tarver, who was actually responsible for renaming the park CC Antoine.
And getting the money.
Huh?
And getting the money.
And getting the money. And he's the one responsible for the $400,000 that Rose McCullough just got to start the housing initiative around CC Antoine Park. And we have a couple of other awards that will be given to a few other individuals, including Gerald, to your mom, and Commissioner Cox for sponsoring the legislation. This is also to let you guys know that what you guys are doing, I want to compliment you guys also on the initiative to try to lock down economic development with the plan. I think it's an aggressive, bold move. Regardless of you guys being sued is irrelevant. I think you guys, I think you guys need to continue to try to do economic development initiatives in the city. So if you guys are not doing anything Saturday from roughly 11:30 until 7, come out, get some of the best entertainment in the area. Our headliner will be Mark Scroggins and the Blaze Band. We got Authentic Blues by Hal and Henry, Jimmy Lynch, and several other individuals. And we'll have a lot of great singing and some great vendors actually coming out. And like I said, next meeting I have a formal presentation of what we plan to do with the park and some of our other initiatives for the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. I'm
Cox.
sorry,
Cox.
Commissioner Cox.
Last year, you didn't let me sing. And
Thank God.
that's okay. That's okay. But it was a great day. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the what this event stands for. And even though Saturday is my birthday,
Okay.
I will be there.
Yeah, bring him out. Bring him out there. Bring him out.
All right, sir.
Bring him out.
Good job.
Commissioner Williams.
Let me just say, I'll be praying for you, for your health, number one. Number Number two is I had opportunity to visit the event, Commissioner Cox. It's like magnetic to see people playing in the park, senior citizens, children, having fun activities in the park. And I just want to commend you on the work you do to keep the history of C.C. Antoine, the legacy going of the C.C. Antoine movement in our community. And I think our young people need to know about C.C. Antoine. Maybe you need to do a history reading lesson there. Get all the kids together and read to them.
Absolutely.
Because for some reason they're closing the book so they're not learning about our history.
Yeah.
There's progress we made just because it happened. A lot of people sacrifice their lives, their limbs to be able to play a part. So hope we can rekindle the fire and let our young people know the importance of our history. And I'll be there. It's in my district. I'll definitely be there. We'll have some good food.
Oh, absolutely. Got some good vendors that'll be there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Clifton Starks. Please state your name and address for us, Mr. Starks, for the record.
Clifton Starks, 3924 Greenwood Road. I'm the president of Central Trades and Labor Council, Shreveport and vicinity, AFL-CIO. And I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak. And basically, I just want to compliment each and every one of you all on what a fine job that you all are doing. It really touched me, and on behalf of my members, they live in each and every one of you all district. We have members live in each and every one, North Shreveport, South Shreveport, West, East, in between. So each one of you all represent some of our members, and that's why we're so grateful with the fine job that you all are doing. You know that we have some local government does not function as well as you all are doing. And it really makes everybody feel good to know that you all are concerned about the individuals that are not working, that need employment, and you're trying to do things that way it's going to create and bring jobs to Shreveport, Caddo Parish. And all of that is just totally a plus. And you're sending great messages to employees that where they're trying to get rid of employees, that this is not good for the economy, that you need these employees to be working, not to be laid off, because these employees, once they're laid off, it hurts the whole economy, not only them personally, but their families, and also it hurts the economy. So the bottom line is, I want to thank you all once, twice, that you're doing a fine job, and hopefully that you will continue on the path that you're going. Thank you so much.
Mr. Starks, I just wanted to commend you on the article that you wrote that was in the Times on Labor Day. That was a very good article.
Thank you.
Very good article.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We say the best for last. Ms. Irma Rogers. Ms. Rogers, please state your name and address for the record.
Irma Rogers, 1920 Michoud Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71107. President Baker, other commissioners, Administrator Wilson, and other citizens present. I came today, I've been waiting a little while. You guys had some things going on, so I was waiting. But I wanted to make this presentation to our commissioner and the entire commission because of some of the funding that you've given us. We've only been funded, I think for 2 or 3 years. This may be our 3rd year trying to get funding. But I wanted you to know some of the many programs that your funding has supported with the Martin Luther King Community Development Corporation. This past year, in fact, last fall, we began an anti-bullying campaign with so many of our students with our fall forum. We carried it through to the spring and went to a high school to speak to them on different subjects of this nature: anti-texting while driving, just before a prom, anti-drinking. We carried it on through the summer with Shreveport Police Department with their camps, the Law and Youth Academy, and also the last camp they held in July, I think 25th and 26th, was the Boys' Choices Camp. We target our young people because we know they are our future, and what we do today to help them become the citizens who will sit in those chairs tomorrow will help all of us. So I wanted to make this presentation. We had so many students. I think we've reached more than 400. I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 425 with this one campaign. But this represents see, it represents so many of, just a few of the children who signed up for the anti-bullying campaign. And I also want to thank you. Your funding reaches so many students. School uniforms, last year, by December, we were at $4,000. This year, and this is just September, we're at $2,000 on just school uniforms for students who primarily attend underprivileged, or what we would call the Title I schools. Some of your other campaigns help with our tutoring projects. Our tutoring goes in generally in the spring, just before the high-stakes testing, that's the LEAP testing, where the students are held back in their grades if they don't pass. One of our schools, Green Oaks High School, came off of the academic unacceptable list, and we've been helping with the tutoring at that school for the last 3 to 4 years. So thank you so much for your funding. I feel remiss if we made a presentation to City Council, and we did, and did not make one to you guys. To my commissioner.
Thank you.
Don't go nowhere yet.
Commissioner Johnson?
I want to commend Ms. Rogers and the MLK CDC for all the work that they do. It's proven that if you keep the community active, that a lot of good things will come out of the community. On the Cooper Road, basically, they have one of the lowest crime rates in the city. The statistics show that, and it's because of that organization keeping the community active. They have programs for senior citizens. They have programs for the youth, not only high school youth, but the middle school and also the elementary. So keeping everyone involved. The drill team also came out of the CDC. They helped fund to get it organized and going. And we saw earlier this year that they went out to Dallas, Texas, and won first place and second place.
Three first
place on a national competition. So just imagine if this organization was not there, that those kids would just not have anything to do. So an idle mind cause all kinds of mischief to happen. So keeping those kids active in the community, giving them things to do, keeping the seniors active, which is keeping their minds active, and it stimulates them, because a lot of those kids are raised by their grandparents or a single mom, and it really helps out that they're here to help them in times of need. She also did speak about there was a couple of fires up there that the CDC helped get those people who were burnt out clothes and also some appliances when they did get into another place to get back started, to kick them off there so that they wouldn't go from ground zero. So, I mean, the funding that we do does a lot for the MLK area. And I thank every commissioner for advancing those funds for them in their requests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got somebody else can on board.
Next, we'll have Mr. Leonel Hartman. Please state your name and address for the record.
Name's Leonel Hardman. Well, let's see exactly where I want to say I'm from. My office is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm domiciled originally from the great town of Mangum. My address is 610 Main Street, Mangum, Louisiana. The office address is 429 Government Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm president of Council 17, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees for the great state of Louisiana. And it is a pleasure and an honor for me to be here. First of all, I'd like to commend you on the work that you've done. I come to this great city, not as much as I like to. Other parts of the city keep me pretty busy. I was in Baton Rouge yesterday morning speaking to the Civil Service Commission on the subject matter of the employees that are being affected with this transition from the LSU system to Biomedical Research Foundation. I think you have something before you this evening that's talked about in reference to a resolution. And just for a minute, it is so important that we remember these individuals that have worked so many years and going through this transition. And yesterday I was trying to get them to understand, they say that 90% of these individuals are going to retain their jobs. I said, show me that. Show me how that you're going to retain 90% of these individuals. We already know that they're going to be losing a lot from the transition from their pension retirement until a 401k. We also know the fact that a lot of them are not going to keep their jobs. Even the salaries in which they enjoy right now, they're not going to be able to meet that same requirement. So therefore, families and the quality of life is going to be affected. Now, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees has had a great partnership with LSU in representing the employees of these two entities, the LSU Hospital here in Shreveport and the LSU Hospital E.A. Conway in Monroe. What you're going to look at in the resolution is the fact that we want to submit to you to entertain the thought that we would like to continue to represent the employees of these universities, these institutions in Shreveport and in Monroe in this transition period. Of course, we've had some conversations with the Biomedical Research Foundation, but I thought it was a great honor that when they told me that you all would be looking at this and addressing some of it, I thought it would be a great idea that I come up and just introduce myself and share a little bit of insight about what we would like for you to consider. You represent the employees of the parish and those employees of the city. Those are the individuals, your constituency. So we're just asking you to take a look at this particular resolution and think about what the employees want. They still want to be represented by ASME. They still want that opportunity to have that voice. So when you take a look at this resolution later on, please take an in-depth look at and think about the employees and what the employees have already suffered as far as in this transition period. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Epperson, I apologize. Your name was up there when Ms. Rogers was up there.
Okay, I just wanted to state that Mr. Stark's article was also in the Shreveport Sun.
Oh,
I read in both newspapers.
Yeah, it was a good art.
Yeah.
Very good. No more citizens' comments. Next item, Ms. Clerk.
We have no visitors, we have no special resolutions. We move to communiques and committee reports. Administration has.
Commissioner Johnson.
I think he goes first.
Commissioner Johnson.
I just wanted to say that we had our NGO meeting Tuesday dealing with words of action, and the committee approved the recommends to the commission body to approve the funding requested by Words in Action. And then yesterday, the city of Shreveport and the parish of Caddo lost a community activist, a historian, and an excellent writer, and James Kojo Livingston. And our sympathy goes out to his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Epperson.
Did Mr. Wilson have an administrative report, or we on communications?
Communicates, then he
okay.
go.
I would just like for Ms. Frazier to expound more on why.
Commissioner Epperson has the floor.
I'm sorry. My bad.
What you want? Commissioner.
Okay. I'd just like to, many of you may be aware about now, to acknowledge we lost a great leader also a couple of weeks back, Mr. Aaron Serba Jr.
Yeah.
Businessman, philanthropist, community volunteer. They run the Serba Brothers department stores. My stepfather was a longtime employee there. Also would like to acknowledge that my mother was the first African-American salesperson at Selber's department store, the main one downtown. Also, Selber Brothers placed in their stores African-American sweatshirts, t-shirts of high schools, which was basically unheard of back in those days in the 60s. And Selber's was an uptown place too. If you went to Selber's, you was in high cotton. So we appreciate that. And he also, I think he worked at LSU Medical Center, ensuring good service for the needy at LSU Medical Center. And I think he named a ward in honor of my father. My stepfather once he passed. So he was a great man, and I also was his caddy and Miss Peggy's caddy at East Ridge Country Club. 18 holes for $3 a day.
Can you play golf?
And no.
No, but he can throw the bag.
That's
right. He can throw that bag though. He can't see it.
There's your lane.
And he was also a confidant of mine because, as I stated, my stepfather raised me, and he was a long-term employee for Seb. As you all may know him, over at Boston, he run the garage. So just want to acknowledge that. Also, we lost Mr. John Pettaway Jr. this Tuesday, September the 3rd.
Mr. Pettaway?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Pettaway, as we all know, as far as the records that we can find as to this point in time, was the oldest living World War II veteran in the state of Louisiana. And we still had not had anyone to contest that in the United States of America. We're still searching. He was 102 years old on June the 4th. He wanted to come home and die in his own bed.
Thank you. That's good.
Funeral services will be 11 o'clock Saturday at Winfield Funeral Home on Hollywood and Jewel. Let's also remember Carol Michelle. He's a longtime veteran and military activist. He's battling cancer. Our Veterans Week Committee will meet tomorrow, Friday, September the 6th at 10 a.m. in the large commission conference room on the first floor. And we're asking any citizens that would like to come out and help us in this endeavor to please feel free to do so. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just want to continue on what came out of the committee. I would like for a parish attorney to explain why this is something that's already been approved in last year's budget. The words in action for the Lakeside Allendale Cherokee Park community. But the young lady that was facilitating the grant had a stroke. Ms. Deborah Seamster had a stroke, so it was a major setback. So they had to go to the words in action to help facilitate it, and had to come back before the parish attorney and NGO to approve those funds. So those funds already been approved from last year. And I wanted to parish attorney to have more input on why we had to amend the proposal.
Basically, the initial purpose had to be changed. And so they had to come back and submit an application showing a new purpose, which they did at the end of, I believe it was July 1st of August. So the different purpose had to come back and be approved, and the final approval will be on your agenda at your next work session.
Is that it?
That's it, thank you.
Administration? Dr. Wilson?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Madam President, Commissioners. I had a commissioner request for information concerning the Biomedical Board. And here today we have Mr. J. Myers to give us a brief presentation that will answer the questions. So, Mr. J., would you please proceed?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wilson. I appreciate it. Madam President and Commissioners, really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk with you this afternoon. I'm Jay Myers. I'm Vice President of External Affairs at the Biomedical Research Foundation. First of all, I want to thank LSU School of Medicine, Dr. Kevin Pruitt, for his remarks, and also former State Representative Coach Billy Montgomery, who's been serving on our board for 4 years, for their comments. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you some of the significant achievements over the last 25 years that our partnership between the Caddo Parish Commission and the Biomedical Research Foundation has brought to the citizens of Caddo Parish. The 3 property tax millages that were passed by the citizens of Caddo Parish in 1993, 1998, and again in 2001, and administered by the Caddo Parish Commission, have been a catalyst for growth for the Biomedical Research Foundation's economic development mission. The BRF has leveraged over $30 million that you've provided us through the Caddo Parish property tax, and we've raised from other sources over $266 million. We brought those sources back into our parish here. This is an 8-to-1 return of the investment of Caddo Parish citizens, with only 12% of those dollars of the 266 coming from the Caddo Parish tax dollars. The $266 million has been invested in 4 main areas. Medical research, as you've heard from Dr. Pruitt at the LSU Shreveport School of Medicine. The positron emission tomography imaging center, you heard from Craig Lee and others, and the value that has brought indigent patients as well as other patients in providing cancer diagnostic opportunities to move forward that area. The Intertech Science and Research Park, over 23 tenants are now in our science park, and they employ 360 individuals at a salary of over $48,000. That the median Caddo Parish salary is $21,000. So we're providing high-paying jobs for our citizens as a result of the investment of this millage. And then finally, as you'll see in this video, we've helped to advance science and technology education initiatives for students district-wide. Each one of your districts here has been touched by the 4,000 students that we've helped to advance these educational programs. We've got a 10-minute video we'd like for you to see that I think really puts some meat on the bone. And if we could show that now, I think you'll be able to better understand some of the things that we're doing at the foundation.
The year was 1986. The economy in Northwest Louisiana was in the dumps because of falling oil and gas prices. Businesses closed, and new jobs were extremely scarce. This same year, an economic development report identified new initiatives to diversify the Shreveport-Bossier economy, and the Biomedical Research Foundation was born. Its goal, simply stated, find ways to develop North Louisiana's science and technology resources to strengthen the area's economic development potential.
How do we get there? Well, the first key is leadership.
I want to develop jobs and high-tech jobs and medical jobs, but I had never thought of biomed until Virginia Sheehy, through the study that she conducted and through the outreach of coming to Washington and bringing the board up and explaining the whole thing. I mean, she got it done.
The Foundation's first initiative to build more medical research space was a big one, and one that has had a large impact on both the local economy and people's lives.
The technological accomplishments of healthcare are just exploding, and we're a very big part of that with the Biomedical Research Foundation.
Today, the Virginia K. Sheehy Biomedical Research Institute provides LSU Health Shreveport scientists with access to the positron emission tomography, or PET, imaging center, 56 state-of-the-art research labs, and core laboratory space. In addition, over $16 million of foundation funding for programs and the purchase of specialized equipment has helped LSU Health Shreveport to triple annual research funding from federal and other sources, improve faculty recruitment, and increase the potential for new therapies to be delivered to the marketplace.
With those funds, it has allowed our campus to be much more competitive on a national scale in many areas of cardiovascular and cancer research. The company, now known as Theravasc, started off from research in my laboratory in collaboration with the National Institutes of Health to protect cardiovascular function. And through a series of studies and experiments, we discovered new biochemical molecules that would be helpful for patients with peripheral artery disease. It will save lives as well as make people's lives in the years that they have more enjoyable. Without the BRF, none of that would have been possible.
Working with our local hospitals, the Foundation introduced PET imaging technology to Louisiana and our local community, bringing an innovative technology to physicians and scientists that has had far-reaching effects in the diagnosis, treatment, and management of many diseases, including cancer, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's.
Often we will see our patient with colon cancer. They have tumor markers was escalating, and yet with our imaging modality during those years, like CAT scan, was not as good quality as now. By getting PET scan, there's a good chance that you will pinpoint the primary site of the tumor.
To date, the Foundation's PET Imaging Center has provided over 9,000 free scans at a value of $19 million to those who cannot afford to pay. In addition, the center manufactures the radioisotopes used to scan patients at many of the other PET centers throughout the state and region.
PET scan has changed the way we treat our patient, and for sake of our patient, we order PET scan even though we want to avoid cost. But I think getting a PET scan in many aspects of it is a technique or imaging modality which actually saves money, because you will not subject your patient to unnecessary operation and pain and suffering. In all honesty, I do believe that PET scan was very instrumental to push Shreveport in the map in the medical community. And that's what I like about Foundation. They've always been very proactive. They intervene if they see there is a benefit to citizens of Louisiana, to the community. They jump on it, get it done, as they did with the PET scan.
In 1996, the Foundation began to broaden its initial focus on biomedical research to include other areas with emerging technologies, such as life science, digital media, IT, and pharmaceutical manufacturing, all of which would be located in a science and technology park called Intertech. As the result of the work and planning of over 80 community leaders, the Intertech Master Plan has accomplished such milestones as constructing over 90,000 square feet of state-of-the-art space to incubate and house technology-based companies, and providing business development services and access to venture and angel capital funding. Intertech is now home to 23 tenant companies that employ 360 individuals with an annual payroll of more than $17.5 million and an average salary of over $48,000.
We'd already decided that we were going to come to Shreveport because they were building these incubators in the state. And the first one was going to be up and off the road was the Biotech Center here in Shreveport. And the park opened their arms and they helped us in every way. And it's been that way ever since we've been here. We continue to do that. We're making some more expansion here in the park that we wouldn't have been able to do just out somewhere on our own.
In our early stages, we really needed that assistance that BRF provided, and there really wasn't anyone else in this community that could step up to the plate for us. Not only did they offer us a space where we set up our initial just 2 offices while we were getting the company off the ground, but they helped us through our iterations of business planning and fundraising and just really kind of developing the scope of what Moonbot could be. We started with about 20 employees. We've added 25 more employees. We're at about 45 right now. And for BRF to incubate those kind of businesses, the technology businesses, whether it's biotech or entertainment, which is what we're providing, is a really important factor.
In partnership with our region's education institutions, the Foundation has helped to grow a creative workforce by raising over $1 million in private support, which has been leveraged with over $2 million in public funding. In 2008, the Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education named the foundation a distinguished partner in education for development of innovative K-12 science, technology, engineering, and math programs.
The BRF has also supported the SMART program, which allows high school students to come into research laboratories, see what science is, get a first-hand experience, and go on that much more informed and prepared.
The SMART program definitely gave me a head start on college by already having this research background. I was able to receive the LaSTEM scholarship, which helps students prepare for graduate school, in acquiring their PhD. So I feel that the SMART program was definitely something that is needed and very beneficial to aid in that transition.
Three key hallmarks of the Foundation's success are financial investment by the community, a dedicated volunteer board, and a large number of collaborations with institution and organization partners. Building on a 1990 $3 million community investment, the BRF has generated $266 million in funding to support technology-based economic development initiatives, with only 12% coming from Caddo Parish tax dollars, an 8-to-1 return on local tax investment.
Overall, one could say that the efforts that the BRF represent and currently maintain are absolutely critical for maintaining biomedical research that we know today.
You cannot invest in a better area than what you would invest for the foundation kind of to promote these ideas.
I can't imagine a better use of taxpayer dollars than enhancing the health of the community and contributing to the technology that helps the health of the country.
This is the best use of what this public-private foundation was set up to do, is to really incubate companies and bring in the new technologies, because we really do have to face it. These are the careers of the future.
The Foundation leadership thanks you all and looks forward to continuing to work with you as we advance the next generation of innovators and innovation companies in North Louisiana.
All right, thank you for spending 10 minutes of our time to review that video, and really, without your help, that would not, any of the things that have been outlined in that video would not have been able to occur. So again, we appreciate the partnership that we currently have with the Caddo Parish Commission, and we look forward to continuing to advance this millage and further millages to support economic development for the well-being of our community. So thank you again for allowing me to address you.
Thank you so very much. That's your report?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next we move to President's Report.
No President's Report today.
Next we move to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on August 22nd.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Johnson, to adopt the minutes from the regular meeting held on August 22nd. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Adopt the minutes of special meeting held on August 27th.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Escalade, to adopt the minutes of the special meeting held on August 27th. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. That passes. Next item.
Public hearing for selection of projects for the LCDVG program.
Okay. And commissioners, please remember that you only can vote for 2 projects.
That's right, at this time we're in a public hearing, if any of those.
Oh, I'm sorry, public hearing, I'm sorry. Is anyone here to speak in favor of these projects?
President, Commissioners, I'm Randall Smoke, Cawthorn Graff Smoke Engineering, 6305 Westport Avenue, Shreveport, 71129. I'm actually here today representing two clients. One is the Caddo Sewer District Number 2, which is an area north of Cross Lake that y'all probably familiar with. I think you may have some in your packet. They have a sewer system that's been in for some time, I think back in the mid-60s. A lot of deterioration in lines and manholes, and they are in need of funds to make the repairs. And so they are asking y'all to support that application. Any questions? If not, I'm also, ma'am.
We can't ask questions in the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also, I'm here representing Four Forks Water System, which is a water district south Caddo Parish that serves approximately 400, 500 people that have one water well supplying water, and are in the situation where if they lose that one water well, they will be in this having to haul water to supply their water. Also, they are under a mandate or an order by DHH to drill a second well. They don't have the funds available, and they're requesting y'all to support an application to CDBG to support funding of a new water well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else here to speak in favor? Is anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item, Mr. Clerk.
There are no other speak. I'll conclude the public hearing. We'll move to select two Louisiana Community Development Block Grant applications forward to the state of Louisiana.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I move that we support Wells Island Road and the Four Fork Water System.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Epperson to support the Four Forks Water System and the Wells Island Road project. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, I wonder, could we take these separately, just take them one at a time and instead of putting two up together?
Well, I withdraw my motion.
We normally vote on it.
I'd just like to make a motion on Wells Island Road project.
Okay.
A normal,
Let's just go
a normal
down the
procedure
list. We go down the
vote on
list.
each one.
Every
Every commissioner votes on
each
one that you want.
You vote on which one you want. So just call them out, you know.
I'm going to remind you,
You can only vote for two.
So vote for the top, the two that you want to vote for.
Exactly.
You don't.
Otherwise, you just don't vote. Is that right? Or?
Right.
Yes. We'll take first as they come in order. Caddo Parish Sewer District Number 2. Move to Caddo Parish Sewer District Number 7.
Commissioner Clerk, looks like it's pretty unanimous that Four Forks and Wells Island Road are
We still have to vote.
two.
We
We
still
still
need to
have to
vote.
vote.
Still
Okay.
need to vote.
So let's do it.
Get it up there.
We waiting on. Oh.
MPC, they didn't work.
Now vote.
For which one?
Four votes.
Poor folks.
What we on now?
Four Forks?
Four Forks.
Yeah, you can't like say that. Don't say that.
Four Forks didn't show for me on the screen here.
You gotta be careful how you say that.
Yes.
Forks.
Me too.
Forks.
Don't say that too fast.
Don't say that too
Forks. Your vote is yes.
Leave him alone, he's from Vivian area.
Now, Wells Island Road.
Please, we'll vote on that. Fourth one. There you go, Mike. Ain't no mess with it.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
And you gotta have water.
It's the two.
It's four
Forks.
water system on Wells Island Road that'll be forwarded to the state.
We knew that.
Thank God good.
We had no public hearing on ordinances. We ordinance for final passage. We have nothing. We moved to ordinance introduction by title. Ordinance number 5334/2013, collecting the franchise fees from Comcast in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. Ordinance number 5335/2013, close and abandon a portion of Red Oak Street located in Township Section 1, Township 20. Next, we move to ratify the minutes of the September 3rd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Johnson, to ratify work session minutes. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. That passes.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 52/2013, expressing the intent of the Caddo Parish Commission to refrain from levying a property tax dedicated to the Biomedical Research Foundation, Northwest Louisiana.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Epperson, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? None, please vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Epperson.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank the overwhelming attendance of board members and personnel of biomedical research centers, which I have not seen since the inception of this tax at one time. Nice to see the doctor out there. So it reminds me of the Economic Development Committee meeting, Madam Chair, that we had the other day back in the back, and they were coming out asking about some other form of economic development venture that they wanted us to enter into with them. I think they brought a gentleman from Austin, Texas, Dr. Butler.
Yeah.
It was. Good to see Billy. I know Billy been on the battlefield a long time, but good to see you. As I looked out among those present here today, speaking on behalf of Biomedical Research Center, what they doing, what they have done, what their plans are. Beautiful presentation today. As I stated once again, after more than 20 years I've been here, that's the most I've seen them come and focus to us, except for the other day when we had the committee meeting on economic development where they was bringing another venture that they wanted us to participate in. And I believe maybe to the tune of, if I understood right, $10 million, I don't know. But anyway, we said, Billy, I think Billy stated that they were looking at $4.8 million to get a new PET scanner or something like that. Yeah, okay. But I want to refer you back to the minutes of the Caddo Parish Commission work session on the 20th of May, 2013. This is Mr. Stephen Scrivanos. Am I pronouncing it correct? Came to speak with us. And it states, answering a question from Mr. Lynn regarding the revenue raised the last 10 years from biomed tax, Mr. Scrivano stated that currently they have approximately $10 million in cash and approximately $100 million in net assets at market value. Mr. Scrivano stated that the biomed millage raises approximately $2.5 million a year and is used for economic development. And Mr. Scrivano also stated that he would provide us with P&Ls of previous years from biomed research, if that was the desire of this commission. After having been requesting several pieces of information from biomed, and I think the new bench is Biomed Research Foundation, HHLLC, or something of that nature. This is an item that I submitted, some requests for information to the Parish Attorney's Office, Ms. Frazier. And she stated, Commissioner Epperson, as today, 9/5 at 12:03 p.m. Here's what I've been able to find so far. Copy of the proposed cooperative endeavor agreement between BMRF, HHLLC, LSU Board of Supervisors, etc. Please note that I was able to retrieve this from Watchdog website. I'm working on requesting an official copy from one of the public agencies, but they will have 72 hours to answer a request, and I know you wanted this for today. Secondly, name of agencies that are contracted with BRF HHLLC. This entity is not a public agency, so these records are not subject to public records requests. 3, names, addresses, businesses and employment of all current board members of BMRC and EAC Hospital in Monroe. She states, employment information is not subject to public records requests. BMRF is not a public entity, so the address information is not subject to public information requests, but the names are attached. Names and addresses of the EAC Hospital Advisory Council members are attached also. And I would ask each of you all present today, be you citizens or ones that are listening to this discussion today, to go on the website, find out who those board members are, what they do. They have vocations. They may be your church members, they may be your neighbors. But it appears to me that there are some things that are going on that's not in the best interest of the citizens and the workers of Caddo Parish. And I don't know if BRFHH has, I don't know what it take to fully operate that hospital, which I understand they don't have any experience. I'm assuming they are contracting some things out. That's another question that I wanted to know that didn't get answered. Who do they have current contracts with that are in-state or out-of-state? So with them being a private agency, I guess we're not privy to that information. But my reason for asking these questions is because we do authorize that tax millage, and I think that any time someone is using taxpayers' dollars, then therefore there should be complete transparency. And I wouldn't see no reason why there should not be. We'll sit on providing a vital interest of services to the community. So I have a problem with that, and that is one of the reasons why I brought up this measure. Now let's step back a taste. A resolution does not carry any weight of law. If this resolution passes today, it doesn't have any weight of law. What this does say, there's an intent. There has to be an ordinance, which will have to be passed probably at some time in 2014 to deny the levying of those taxes to that entity. But what I'm doing here today is just trying to say, hey, let's look at what we are doing. I requested information as far back as, May, I think is when I started. And you should see some of the comments that came. I'm too busy. I don't know how long I've been on this board. I've been on here so long I have no idea. Now these are responses from the board members. Now if a board member doesn't know how long he or she been somewhere, that appears to tell me that they have a cavalier attitude about what their purpose is. And believe you me, when board members are not cognizant and watchful of the organizations that they are supposed to set the policy and direction of, you can bet your bottom dollar something not going to come out of that organization right. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can read the paper every day. Rubber stamp board members parallel quorum, everything is okay and we out of here, I don't think that's the way we should take care of the taxpayers' money. That's one reason why I have a concern in doing what I'm doing. Now, also, a resolution which carries no weight of law. Basically, if this come out of here, well, whatever we ask, you can say, you can do like you've been doing. You can say, hey, the devil with you. We're not thinking about you. We're a private organization. We don't owe you anything, you know. But it appears as though when somebody wants something, here they come with their hand out. They can come and they can talk then. But I feel, well, let me step back. This tax expires in 2016, I believe. So therefore it does what? It goes back to the voters for renewal or whatever. That's who you need to be worried about. That's why I think you should do better than what you have been doing at this point in time as far as your transparency. And when the elected officials that the people have put in place ask you something, I think you should respond, and not with arrogance and complete disregard for the request that was asked. We were put in place by the people. We voted to place that tax on the agenda. Had we voted no not to place that tax on the agenda, it would not be there. You couldn't place it on there. Your board couldn't place it on there. And you don't owe us any explanations or provide us with any information that our citizens so richly deserve to know, because after all, it's their money. Whether it's coming from Caddo Parish, the tax that's levied, or where the money you're going to get to run that hospital is from the state, it's still coming out of the same pocketbook. And our citizens deserve answers. Our elected officials deserve respect. You respect us when you come down here with your hand out in your charts wanting something. Plain and simple. Is that too much to ask? I look at the figures from 2000. The millage started off at 1.92. I go down to 2013, we had 1.671. We were projecting for 2013 that it'll be $2.67 million. From 2000 to 2013 with the projection, that's $28,004,070. Got this nice schematic map of the Intertech system, borders between Claiborne, East Kings Highway. I ride down through there, I see a little building here, a little building there. But it definitely does not look like any Intertech areas that I've seen. I don't know all of the properties that you own, but certainly I would try to keep whatever those vacant pieces are on that land that you own in better shape and make it look good up there. It looks outlandishly tacky. $28 million since 2000. And our citizens don't deserve a better explanation. Our elected officials that the citizens elected, that voted to place this tax out for them to vote on, cannot get respect and answers to their questions because you are a private entity.
Commissioner, we got 3 more commissioners on top.
Ma'am, okay. Well, this is a big deal, Madam President.
I understand,
And
but we have some
I'd
more
like to
commissioners
vote,
on
we
top.
call for a division on the House to extend the debate time. You know, everybody else had an opportunity to get up and say they deal. I put this measure on and I'm prepared to state my case.
I understand, but we got some more commissioners.
I understand that too, but in the event that they can't wait, we'll call for the division of the House and we'll vote to extend the time of debate. That's certainly on the Robert's Rules of Order. May I continue?
How long long you gonna have left?
Till I finish.
How long is that?
1 page.
You can
It's
give
a
us
little
the
short
time?
page.
Okay.
Okay, hey, boy, that's not fair. That's not
Sorry.
fair. Didn't nobody call my time off when we was voting for this tax. But anyway, I feel that this tax has been in place a long enough time. We stating all this with so many millions of dollars in the evaluation. I think Biomed been in operations long enough to start flying on their own. What hurts me after the 20 years that I've been here, when I see what we just voted on, we got 4 vital entities in this parish that the citizens need. And most of them is talking about drinking water. Something that God gave us, that in a nation of this caliber that we should have the right to have good, clean drinking water.
Amen.
We have to decide on 2 of the 4. Just think, if we had $28.4 million, we could fund those things and take care of our citizens. That's what we need to be doing. Building a lot of empty buildings, sitting up empty. This money can be served in better places. I think the Caddo Parish Commission needs an economic development coordinator, a strong person that will advocate in our behalf of economic development. We've got to stop continuing to paying other people to go out and talking about taking care of our interests. And I think we can do it if we do this in-house. And that's my reason, because I think that the parish of Caddo, if they were controlling these particular funds, get us an economic development arm set up within this system, we'll do a much better job as far as our economic future. And that's why I ask for your support on this resolution.
You say everything you need to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yeah, I just want to preface this by saying that I'm going to support allowing the Biomedical Center to continue asking for their money, but I agree with a lot of what Commissioner Epperson has said. The main question that bothers me, and I did mean to ask today, was if you accept taxpayers' money from the parish and from the state, how can you not be transparent? Is it all right for one of them to answer that?
Yeah.
How can they not be transparent if they receive taxpayers' money? Who determined that?
Somebody jump up.
Mr. Meyer, are you prepared to address that, sir?
I already know the answer, but I'm going to want to know what you're going to tell me.
Well, one of the things I would like to say is, I mean, I don't have the answer to that one. Dr. George would be better able to answer that, who's our president.
Somebody allowed your body to be non-transparent, just like the governor's office.
Right.
Which body allowed you to get the waiver to not give information to the taxpayers when receiving taxpayer money?
Well, I will say, you know, we have given the information. It's on our website. Mr. Epperson that he noted is on our website. The CEA has been on our website for at least a month. So, you know, we have been as transparent as we can under the unusual circumstances that we have been advanced with the hospital transition. As far as the millage goes, I mean, we over the last 20 years, I believe we've been extremely transparent. I mean, we provide a report to you every year. Anytime that you all want to come out and see what's going on over at the foundation, you're invited to do that. We do an annual report every year. We have an annual meeting. We're actually, you know, we have a small staff, so we do a lot. We're heads down doing the work, and we don't have a lot of time to do the public relations and marketing that we probably should do better, and we need to do a better job on that. I admit and recognize that. But as a private entity, it does allow us to do things more nimbly than we could as a state agency. And I think, you know, there is a balance there that we have to strike, and I believe as an organization, we've delivered in spades the investment that the Caddo Parish citizens have provided us over the last 20 years. I'm going to go back to the figures that the citizens of Caddo Parish provided us with $30 million, and we have been able to leverage that with $266 million. I mean, that is a real strong, I think that's a real strong indication of the achievement that all of us have done. You know, the Caddo Parish Commission put their trust in the biomed. You know, we're audited every year. We've always had a positive audit. I mean, everything has been, I think, above board.
Let me just interrupt you. I agree that the people need to make the decision whether or not to renew that millage. That should not be our decision.
Right.
And that's why I'm going to vote against the resolution that's on the floor. But I do also understand and have a really difficult time with the way that the biomed and the taking over the hospital has been handled by Baton Rouge, both by the governor and by the legislature. And my understanding is that you do have a waiver from the Ethics Commission for full transparency, just as the governor has no transparency in his office.
Right.
And I'm a conservative, you know. I'm a Republican, but he has no transparency, and somehow or another, this transaction between the biomed and LSU Health Center has gotten a waiver, and I don't understand why that waiver was allowed, or who gave it, or what was given by the Ethics Commission. So, and that's all I'm saying. That's why I'm not in favor of the resolution, because that's up to the people.
Right.
That's something the people should vote on. But as far as everything else is concerned, I've got a real concern with it, and I think a lot of folks do,
Right.
at the way it's being handled.
Right. It has been a very challenging situation. Let me just leave you with this as far as the hospital. Remember, the hospital is a separate entity. The BRFHH is a separate entity from the BRF. Okay, so those are two separate entities. It's going to have a community board. We've announced the nominations for that community board. That will be representative of the community that we serve. But just think about this. What would have happened if we wouldn't have stepped up to the plate 4 months ago? You need to ask yourselves that. I think that is important. And
he's answered my question.
He's answered his question. He had his chance.
Okay.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, ma'am. One was already answered. I'm going to go with the taxpayers, but Commissioner Epperson, with you, I share your regards, because I think regardless of whether you are a commissioner, an elected official, or a citizen, no one deserves to be treated or in that way, or even not responded to in that way. At some point, you know, I get the transparency part, but every business and entity deserves to give people respect. And if you've been asking all of these things, all this, you know, for this duration of time, and that's all that you've gotten back, what was the response you said?
I heard that they were busy trying to make the transition, and they weren't subjected to the Public Records Act as private information.
Yeah, well, that's unacceptable. The next thing I want to know, you mentioned that there were some things that are going on that are not good. Are you at liberty to discuss?
Let's see, some things that's not going on good. What I stated was based on my experience on being on boards.
Yes, sir.
Being board of directors with executive boards. And there have been some laws that have been passed recently supposedly making Louisiana a more ethical and transparent, but it has not worked that way. It has allowed people that are cavalier, that has no knowledge on being on boards and so forth, and they have been really just rubber stampers. And they've been overwhelmed by the executive directors, and those that led to problems.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowman. Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Let this be a lesson to be learned. You know, instrumental years ago to help bring Biomedical Research Foundation to Shreveport. And I agree with a lot of things Commissioner Everton said regarding respect. A person, a public official deserves respect. We've elected him or her to seek and ask information to ensure that the tax dollar is being spent wisely throughout the state. If it's state dollar, it means statewide. If it's parish dollar, it means parish-wide. So these are the public dollars that taxpayers do pay, and it should be public. It shouldn't be private. And unfortunately, I will be supporting to continue to allow Biomedical Research Foundation to do what you do. But I'd like to see more inclusiveness with, don't just bring the doctor when you need some help. Why didn't we see the doctor beforehand? Whenever a new African American comes to Shreveport or Caddo, we should know beforehand, not after the fact. Way in the hour we see this African American PhD coming to our community. If it had not been for what Commissioner Everson is doing today, we would have never known about it. So we need to be more transparent. We need to be more inclusive. We need to be more involved as a community. The poor people need to be represented, the middle class and the rich. Unfortunately, always a class action when it comes to being inclusive. All we see is the same old people get the same old results. And by the way, I did my research. Had not been for Biomed, but there were other entities in New York and Florida who come here and make a proposal to the governor. And unfortunately, there was some local legislators got together, and that's why you came into play. Biomed came into play. So I commend you on one end, but I am concerned about your involvement in regards to being transparent. I think it's unfair. I think it's disrespectful. Hope in the future, when anyone asks for something, that you expedite it quickly, working through our administration or working directly to that particular elected official. It's just we need to have a due process where we work together. We're in this thing together. We may not agree, but we all agree on this. We have to provide opportunity and fairness for everyone, create jobs and opportunities for everyone. It shouldn't be the same old people doing the same old thing. People at LSU deserve a fair chance. I hope that they get the quality care that they was going to be getting. I haven't seen it yet in the private sector. It seems like the people just been kicked under the bus. Nobody care about the poor. Everybody's want to make money off poor people, but they don't care nothing about it. So there's the needy and the greedy. Depends on what side of the fence you're on. And unfortunately, people prey on poor people, weak people, downtrodden people, just to make money. It's not really about the quality of life or the quality of service. How many statistics we can run through here and research how much money we can make off people. That is so unfair. That is so wrong. And I hope that you provide a board that represents the demographic, the diversity of Caddo Parish from all over the community. Shouldn't have the same old people that are doing the same old thing. So hopefully it'll represent people from the middle class, lower class, people that work in the union, people have worked at LSU for years. They need to have representation on the board. And that way you can set rules and policies because they had input. When people have input, they do things by choice. When they don't, they do things by force. So it's best to have input by choice, by having people, collected people together that represent the diversity of our community. I believe we can do that. We want to have these type of meetings. So I hope that in the future, I appreciate all the work you've been doing. I was one flew around the country with Biomed, but it's like a godmother of mine, like her, Miss Eddie Jones. I think she actually owned a funeral home. She thinks she go get me. Now I'm going somewhere else. But anyway, I appreciate all the work her and Senator Johnson did and having the vision. Because Biomed, tissue technology is research, it is economic development. Hopefully one day we can have eye technology and skin technology. That is the wave of the future. Research and technology replace those. So I look forward to the research and advancement and the creativity that research is doing in Caddo Parish, and keep our brightest minds here. They want to leave. And I'm glad we attracted a doctor, but let's keep those here so they want to leave and go out of town. So very commend you, and I will be supporting this. And hopefully I'll have my eyes on you because we have to come back another 2016. And we're going to ask the same thing we ask you now and see have you been accountable and have you been transparent. So I got my eyes on you and hope that this won't happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Escudero?
It seems like there's a bunch of confusion in this whole matter. One, biomedical research foundation's role and its mission, and then the hospital thing kind of complicates everything. But, and I understand it's two different entities, but I need to, Mr. Meyer, ask you some questions. Is any biomedical BRF's resources being used in this new entity that's involved with the hospital?
To the mic.
Or any?
Come to the mic.
Come to the mic, please. Are any of the Biomedical Research Foundation's resources being used on the hospital side of it, the organization or whatever? They're being commingled. It's just a question.
We've used our resourses to...
Yes or no? I'm an ally, but that's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I'm just going to have to say, John, that we've used our resources to support, it's not just public resources. We have a $12 million budget that has both private and public dollars. We don't look at it when we're trying to hire a consulting firm, Marcel and Alvarez, for example, that actually is doing the transition. We don't look at which, I just wouldn't be able to answer that. I'd have to bring in our accountant on that one.
Okay. Let me ask this. See, the Biomedical Research Foundation, you have, $226 million in assets. That's what that thing says.
No, that's how much we've raised. We have $100 million.
You got real property, real estate, buildings, real estate, all kinds of stuff. Okay, who owns that?
Well, we own, the $100 million is a lot of that is buildings and real estate.
Who's we?
The foundation, Biomedical
Who's
Research.
the foundation?
Pardon?
Who is the foundation?
Well, the foundation is our board, and, it's a 501c3.
But who owns it? If you want to liquidate all those assets, who gets the proceeds? Would it not be the people of Caddo Parish?
Would it be?
Would it not?
Well, there would be one of the creditors, but, there's a lot of, it's not just parish dollars that we have.
It's parish dollars, but it's public money that's the catalyst for it. And I'm saying you've leveraged those assets to buy these other assets. Who owns them? If everybody cashed in their chips tomorrow, where would those chips go?
Well, we'd have to, I need to have Jim Dean answer that one. He's our, he's our chief. I didn't know I was going to be, that's a good question.
Would you have to admit that the taxpayer, the people of Caddo Parish, whom this body represents, would have a vested interest?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The chips are ours?
Yeah. They have a vested interest.
Then I understand, Mr. Jefferson's argument about the transparency issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So, and if anybody in this board has questions, you ought to answer them, because as Commissioner Williams said, you said you're going to come back in 2016 and you're going to renew that tax.
Right.
And I want you to renew that tax because you need that money to keep managing these assets you've acquired. Or they're
Absolutely.
going to deteriorate and go to hell. Right?
Right.
We get roughly $133,000 of that goes to juvenile, goes to crime, directly to us. What I'm saying, though, is, there's going to have to be some common ground here as far as information when it concerns to this body. You're going to come to this body in 2016, and you're going to say, we need to renew our tax, and all you got to have 7 people up here saying, no, we're not going to allow it on the ballot. Then what are you going to do?
Right. Right. Well, we absolutely need to do a better job on the communication side. And I think, this has been a good forum to give us feedback so that we can do a better job there, and we'll pledge to do that, absolutely. But I will say at the same time that I think, prior to the hospital situation, if you put that over here, we have, I think, been extremely transparent, as far as our finances, as far as, what we feel like we've returned to the citizens of Caddo Parish on
Okay, yeah, all that's matter of public record, and, or you've been very transparent, so but you're saying in this instance, you're not gonna be?
No, I'm just saying this unusual
You're gonna
incident.
know till after?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in regard to the hospital, I mean, that, that, you just got to put that, I think, in a separate
Okay, are you
bucket.
placing at risk Biomed's assets in the hospital deal? Are they being jeopardized? Are they being placed in?
We've invested, we've had to invest Biomed assets in that.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
you're putting at risk the Parish of Caddo, the people of the Parish of Caddo.
Well,
You need to get Jim here. I want to answer my question.
Yeah, I mean-
really do. If all chips had to be cashed in tomorrow, what's our cut? What's the people of this parish's cut? How much of their investment do they get back?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to
Now
that.
you see the problem?
Yeah.
I'm going to support you because you need to continue operating. I think
Right.
overall you do good work. I want to see you grow. I want to see you get your new PET scanner.
Mhm.
I want to see us partner up with you in economic development. I want to see you maintain your properties and get more things like Moonbot out there. But, you got to brush up on your PR skills. I'm going to support you on this. I support your efforts on the hospital. Nobody else stepped up to the plate, short of a monopoly, and that's the other option I heard rumored that we were going to have, and I don't want that. I'm glad you stepped up.
Right.
Because the alternative was, this governor, I believe, would have shut him down. He could care less. So I appreciate that. I'm going to support you on this. But, man, let's try to work close together so we can continue to support you without all these questions.
Right.
Because, that's, Mr. Epson hit on a kind of a good point, and I'm not saying it's on your part.
Right.
There should be no arrogance. This Biomedical Research Foundation and its board, I know they work hard, they serve the people well, it's volunteer. It's not theirs, it's not yours. It is ours, collectively. You have bosses, whether you don't see them every day or not. You have stockholders and owners, that's citizens of this parish, whether you see them or not. Somehow you're kind of exempt from having to really be held accountable as much as a public corporation would, because you're in that no man's land.
Right.
So let's do a better job of reaching out. Let's do a better job of giving information. I mean, there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. But I commend your efforts. I applaud them. I'm going to support you. I'm going to continue to work with you. I hope you pull it off. I hope we're successful. Thank you.
Good, thank you, John.
Commissioner Cox?
Really, you can sit down for this.
Pardon?
You'll be able to hear me sitting down.
Okay.
I supported, when I heard this, Mr. Epson, I also support your facility, but there's also a two-way street for everybody to understand here. I would like to ask the president to put together a little committee and work with a questionnaire to be given to the Biomed with a date on it to get back with us with questions answered.
Okay.
And I would like, and I'll tell Ken, and I talked about this, we need answers so we can go back to the voters, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are asking questions. We understand you've got a employment, you employ people. You have a history of success. You have a history of growth. You have a destination of running a hospital. You have everything in line. But to get there, you are doing it off public dollars. Okay? So I would like, Madam President, to put together a committee. I would like Ken to head that committee.
Me too.
And have a questionnaire given to you guys. You can come here and accept it, and that way, matter of fact, I would like for them to come here and accept the questionnaire with the acknowledgement of a date to come back with the answers. Not any halfway answers. Because 2016 comes quick. And to get our support for that, you're going to have to answer these questions. Well, I know we did this, we did that, and Mr. Escaday just asked you a few questions, and the right guy, no offense to you, but the right guy's not here to answer those questions, some of those questions. I support you fully, I always have. But to make sure everybody understands what's on the plate, whether it be for the Biomed or LSU or whatever, the citizens of this parish give you so much money, they deserve to know the answers that we give them. So, today's going to be a tough day. I think it'll pass, but I can tell you before the end of the year, we will be calling you back with that questionnaire.
Right.
Thank you.
Commissioner Epperson?
just want to close out. Don't make this about Commissioner Epperson. Don't make it feel as though my feelings are hurt because I was ignored. I've been in this business a long time. Like everyone there would say, you got to have a tough skin to be here. But it's about the people. It's about the people. They put their trust in me by electing me. You aren't going to give them any direct answers. No ordinary Tom and Joe. So they're going to come to us. Rightfully so. That's why we're here. When you are dealing with their money. So don't think this is a Ken Epperson thing. This is a people's thing. This is a constituents thing. And my point has been proven. I think it's highly embarrassing for somebody to get up here and shuffle and stumble that he don't know the answer to a question, knowing full well what the hell was going to go on down here today. Is that a way to run a business?
That's right.
I call myself coming prepared. I still ask for your vote. The deciding factor, don't worry about us. You need to worry about the citizens in 2016. That's all.
Commissioner Johnson.
One quick question. From 2000 to now, basically, the citizens of Caddo have given you $28 million, according to what I've heard today. In your presentation, you talk about what you have done in the past, what you plan to do, like this year or whatever. But what's the goals for the future? What are some of your plans for beyond 2013? Just a couple of them. What you gonna use that 2.7 to $3 million a year? What are you gonna use that for?
Come to the mic.
Well, we have some exciting projects that we're advancing. One of them involves our positron emission tomography imaging center. What we've done clinically, you heard about the number of people that we currently serve free imaging scans for. One of the things that we're going to be advancing is a research effort with our PET imaging center. We've hired individuals to come and begin to advance that. And the money that we're going to receive from the capital outlay project for the new cyclotron and scanner are going to allow us to begin to offer services here in the state and actually the region that are not currently available. So that's going to be an exciting area that we're going to be moving forward. We currently have within the science park 360, we have 23 tenants and 360 individuals currently. We have award-winning Moonbot Studios, we have Blade Studios, we have the scientists at LSU that are within the Biomedical Research Institute. So we have to maintain, you still have to maintain what you have and then grow these other entities. The PET imaging is one of the areas, and we have another exciting initiative that we're trying to advance to create the opportunity for new companies that are interested in developing and receiving business assistance and venture capital assistance. We hope to move that forward. That will help us to continue to grow new companies within the Intertech Science Park. It's going to be a very important piece. So, those two areas, I think, within the science park are going to be two of the main areas that we're going to be focusing on moving forward. And then, of course, the hospital has been taking up a tremendous amount of our management time. So, once that transition is set October the 1st, and we have our, the new team that comes in to advance that should free up the foundation to move back into more of its economic development efforts.
Thank you.
Okay.
No other discussion. Please vote.
We're voting on the issue. There wasn't a call for the question, was there?
No.
Okay.
We're voting on it. And it failed.
4 to 7.
Yeah, it failed. Next item.
Resolution number 53 of 2013, urging and requesting Biomedical Research Foundation Northwest Louisiana to take all action necessary for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees to be recognized and certified.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Epson, second by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Epson.
Okay. First of all, I want to clarify, this is not Biomedical Research Foundation. This is Biomedical Research Foundation Hospital Holding LLC that this resolution is addressing. Anyone heard of the American Medical Association? American Bar Association? American Manufacturing Association? National Chamber of Commerce? Your local Chamber of Commerce? Lobby, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry? And I can go on and on and on and on. What do we call them? Associations? Association mean, well, you assemble together. We call them unions. Union mean you tighten something together. Why is these type organizations good for business and employers and not good for workers? I do not understand it whatsoever. All over this nation, we having legislative policies being put in place for privatization, which I've often say the P in privatization also stands for the P in profit. To do things that are killing organizations that represent working people. The 8-hour workday came about, the 40-hour work week, vacations, benefits, safety, health, and all of these things, once organized labor got these into play for workers, it basically went up for management too. I've only had 3 years where I have not been a member of a labor union. That's when I was in the Army. And boy, those management guys, when we was having those contracts, they said, man, we sure hope y'all get it, because when y'all get it, we get some too. And in this venture of BMRFHH, LLC, taking over the operations of LSU Medical Center and the A. Conway. I think LSU Medical Center with about 1,585 employees, about 5 something at the A. Conway. That's a lot of lives that's being affected. I've been hearing figures are saying that, hey, we're going to probably keep about 90 to 95% of the workers. We're going to make the transition as smooth as possible. No one has a job. We're going to reapply. I've been there and I've done that. So if you're going to keep 90 to 95% of those workers, then why can't you keep that organization in place that has been in place representing those workers up to this point in time prior to October the 1st? Why can't you say, well, hey, we're going to go ahead and recognize ASME too? These are the same experienced, qualified employees that's been here prior to October the 1st. And we're just going to go on with that transition. I think you got some same people on the board of supervisors that's voting on this contract. You got legislatures that's been in place for a long time that's voted and put this in place. The governor been there in a while because that's what he wants. Some of your board members are going to be working probably across the aisles with the hospital as well as the research center. What's so bad about saying, well, hey, we're going to go ahead and recognize we got an organization that's in place that's representing the same people that that's still going to be working for us with the experience and qualifications. Let's show a little something. Now, this is one way you can you know, you can change your marketing strategy. What's the big idea? What's bad about recognizing the union with your new holding corporation? What's wrong with that? Is there something in this contract that said you shouldn't? You probably got people up there that have been on National Guard or Reserve that have been deployed and went to active duty. You think when they go up, they say, well, if you union, we don't want you, we're going to send you back home. We don't want you. You know what I mean? We didn't say that back in the 60s. I just do not understand it. Why can't you just say we're going to recognize the union? That's all it's asking for. What's wrong with that? The same people are going to be there. I don't understand it. As I stated, there have been organizations that went through it. I went through it in 2001. Pennzoil Quaker State sold out to Calumet. Went right to the union. First thing said, union stays in place. And then everybody else, well, you got to reapply, and that's what we did. No problem. Plant's still running. Everything's going fine. Why can't we do that here? Billy, anything wrong with that? Just talking. Why can't the board make that policy? Or the new board? Okay, I'm finished. But you know, sometimes, you know, people, I don't understand. It appears as though we think that there are two Americas.
That's right.
There are two Caddo parishes, there are two cities of Shreveport, there's two Louisiana, us and them.
That's right.
But it's supposed to be we in times of crisis. I wish you all would read The Influence of Affluence. Pigs at the trough. They are bankrupting us, and 20 other myths about unions. Educate yourself. I know some of you, I know that's your philosophy, you know. But hey, think like ordinary working people and not the ones, us and the thems. Have you ever seen the movie Miracle on 32nd Street? The Grapes of Wrath? A Tale of Two Cities? Where's your compassion? Where's your understanding? As we celebrated the 50th year of the March on Washington last week, I cannot see how no minority, no woman, no person that may be of a different ethnicity that may have come to America and been subjected to some of the things that we have been subjected to, not only socially in the community but in the workplace. But do you know who is one of the basic backbones of the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Act? Labor. The intent was freedom and jobs. That's it. I see how no woman, no American, male or female in good conscience, cannot want to do this and recognize the labor union. So I ask for y'all support in reference to this. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I think Commissioner Epperson, he made his case because most of us have been beneficiaries of our families being in labor union, the police department, the fire department, the teachers, the engineers, the architects, the electricians. They have all been union to help provide for our families because they had a union protecting their rights. Everybody deserves collective bargaining to be able to negotiate for fair wages, for benefits, for a good quality of life. See, it's only 1% of millionaires and the rest of it are middle class. See, the doors have to swing for the middle class to create another class of people where they can provide and help run this country. 1% got all the money and the rest of us help pay the taxes and run this country. What this governor did, what this state legislator did was so wrong. They threw the poor people under the bus. That's almost $1 billion industry, the healthcare industry. And that hospital makes money to provide for the rest of the hospitals in the state. You told them people going to, you gave them a pink slip, say you're fired. They go home and tell them they got to reapply for their job because some of them may not get their job back. They praying to God that they may get their job back. But you got some devilish people that's running the state. They don't care nothing about poor people. Don't care nothing about nobody but themselves. This country was built on the backs of working class people, both black and white. In this day and time, throughout America, they're trying to abolish the union. They wanted people to work for $2 an hour. So they're paying them a fair wage for a decent wage of work. Is this company going to be an equal opportunity employer? Is it going to represent the demographics of this state and this community? It's going to be business as usual. The good old boys get the good jobs, and if you don't know nobody, you get the less jobs. It's all in who you know. Not what you know, sometimes it's who you know. Not about your knowledge. Sometimes it's about who you know. Yes, we say racism is gone in this country. That's not true. Discrimination is still alive and well in America, especially in the South. And we're scared to talk about it. It is what it is. Women are not going to get paid the same as a man. And that is not right. If the union was good for your family, helped put food on your table and got you through college, why can't it be good for the cities, for the federal and the state workers? Why can't it be good for them? But in the 21st century, we want to go back to the good old days. Work people hand to the bone, don't pay them a fair wage. They don't even have health care. Their benefits are gone. You need to start over. You're 60-some years old, getting ready to retire, but you got to reapply. Is that right? How can you sleep with a conscience like that? How can you go to bed at night because that same person might have been you or somebody in your family? How can you do it? There's so much inequality. This is the greatest country on the planet. But when it comes to African Americans, I don't know when we're going to get justice on this side. But it's coming. It's coming. The way you're going to have justice, give them people the same thing they had when they got kicked under the bus by this state. They paid their taxes. They provided for the hospital. Tell them one day you're fired, you got to start all over again. Go back to the back of the bus and start over. You know they're going to have their best friends, people they know, and the people going to be left out. I don't believe the rhetoric that comes out of the state capitol because it is so wrong. I wish we could really live in a colorblind society, but I don't see it. I do not see it in Louisiana. I don't see it in America. It's so unfair what happened to those people. How can you have a conscience allow that was happening? That people ought to have equal rights. They ought to have equality of life for their families, to provide food on the table. Well, they want to be get off the work road to end up on welfare road because what happened to them? We're supposed to be creating opportunities for everybody. But it's just not right. So I hope that you would continue what has already been in place so they can have some type of protection and hope that if they do have a problem over where you just won't fire them and send them to the house. Because people are going to be afraid to speak up for themselves because when you don't have a union, people can fire you just from looking at you. I don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you dress. I don't like the way you talk. And I'm going to fire you just because of that. I'm going to let you train somebody, then I'm going to fire you and they're going to take your place. So what kind of morale you going to have around there if you're going to continue to do that? You train somebody to be your boss, but you got more education than them. I got a PhD, you just got a high school diploma, but you my boss. What kind of morale that's going to create up here? That does happen, and it's still happening. And it's still happening up here, it's still happening on your job, and that is wrong. So I hope that we would keep what they had in place, giving people some type of security. That if I get discriminated against, if I feel I'm treated unfairly, I can go talk to my union representative. That I just won't get fired because of somebody say I said something. Or because of the way I look, the way I dress. Or they discriminated me because my hair is braided, I'm a little darker, but I'm a little overweighted. They fire you for all kind of reasons now. That is so wrong. So I hope this board will listen to my heart, listen to the plight of the people. They already heard enough. Trying to reapply for a job that they're sure that they're going to get hired for. We talk a lot, but enough rhetoric. Some people going to be without work. Some people are forced in retirement because they got the time.
Mr. Williams, time's getting up.
Huh?
Your time's getting low. It's up.
Okay. Can I preach just a little more?
30 seconds.
You buying supper?
30 seconds.
All right.
Have mercy on us.
But I hope you feel my passion for the working people of this country and this community and this state have been thrown on the bus without notice. That is so fair. I want the people to be able to have a good sleep at night, knowing that they may have a chance to work, that they're under protected custody with a union. I hope that you will support this. I hope that board will be in good faith and good spirit, continue what they already had. Give them some type of security, because they don't have none now. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you.
You think
Mr.
I'm
Chairman. As Commissioner Everson mentioned in the last resolution, is that this really doesn't hold any type of real weight, but it's an urge and a request that you recognize this union. I too have been on both sides. I've been union and I've also been salary. I'm still salary right now. And so I know both sides of the issue. I also worked for a company that was trying to get a union. And so the employees at that time decided they didn't want a union. So what I'm saying is unions, the companies and America is about choice. We have a democracy, and so people have a choice to do what they want to do within the confinements of the law. The unions are about equality. If it wasn't for equality, then pretty much unions wouldn't exist. But since people was not treated equally, then they formed these organizations so that they would be treated equally. Person that I was named after, President Lyndon B. Johnson.
Wow.
The unions got his ear in the late 60s. And through his ear and the marches that he enacted OSHA, which protects the workers. It doesn't say unions, but it protects the workers. And that workers was protected because of the work that the unions did. We are just asking you to recognize this body because they have representatives that will speak for the mass majority. To listen to what they have to say, let them sit at the table. When you publicly say that you would not recognize the union, it puts all those workers on the defense, whether they're in the union or not. Because what do you have to hide? What do you not want to do to say that we can't sit at the table and talk about something in a bargaining session? That's all they're asking for. That's all we're asking for, is for them to be recognized, and they're asking for you to recognize them as well. They are citizens of Caddo Parish. They call us. They say, can y'all do anything? And so we put resolution on the table. So this resolution is on the request of the workers. They can't come to you without fear of some type of rebuttal, but they can come to us. And we on our hand can then come to you and say, we are asking you and urging you to sit down and recognize them as a union. That's all I have to say, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
I don't see this particular resolution as being an us versus them or a social or a racial resolution. To me, I see this simply, just like Mr. Johnson just said, he said it should be individual choice. Well, if I vote for this, then I'm not giving individual choice. I'm saying that it's the employees of the LSU hospital that should have the decision of A, do they want to be unionized, B, who do they want to represent them. I don't see that as the job of this commission to make that recommendation. So based on that, I'm going to vote against it because I don't think it's my call. I don't work for the hospital. I'm not an employee of the hospital. I want the folks who work for the hospital to make that call, not me.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, Madam President, I won't be long. I agree with what you say about, you can't come into someone's private home and tell them what to eat or serve. But I have to say, I voted for the funding. However, there needs to be some in place, some type of fair chance and leverage for people not just for black people, but for all people, for all, for women and men. I don't look at race, I don't go with party lines, I look at what's right for all people. And so I think that if you have employees who have worked so long, as he said, and you say that there's a 90% rehire, I need to see some type of proof that these people are able to have their jobs back and have a chance at, security as well. That's a hard feeling to be able to work for a place for so long. It's a great to have the opportunity to get a chance to be rehired back, but it's a slap in the face if you work so hard and you promise I'm going to hire and then I'm still at home. So I just hope that you all would be able to live up to what you said and look out for the people who work for you.
If no
That's
more,
all, Madam Chair.
If no more comments, please vote. And that fails. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 54, 2013, authorizing the parish administrator to request engineer's qualification statements.
It went down part of
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic,
What?
second by Commissioner Thibodeau. Is there any discussion? If none, please
For
vote.
the NCGB. It's a yes.
That passes. Next item.
Resolution number 55, 2013, authorizing the parish administrator to request administrative consultants proposals for services.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote.
Hey, give it the doctor.
Commissioner Smith. That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 56, 2013, adopting procedures to be utilized in procurement with Louisiana
So
Community
moved, Madam Chair.
Development Block Grant Fund.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
second by Commissioner Lynn. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. That passes.
Next, we move to new business, confirmation of appointment of Mr. Roger DeKay to the Industrial Development Board.
So moved. Second. He's here if you'd like to. Mr. DeKay is here if you'd like to eyeball him at the request of Mr. Linden. Hey, come forth. Hey, come forth, Roger.
Come forward and state your name and address.
We were just messing with you. No, come forth, please. I got you down here. You're gonna let you go.
It's highly recommended.
You can speak.
If you sat through all this, you deserve to speak.
All right.
My name is Roger DeKay, and I live at 1069 Boxhall Drive, Shreveport, Louisiana.
You're moving the wrong right district, that's the wrong.
I've been involved in the community since I moved here about 28 years ago. My wife and I, who is from Shreveport, raised two sons here in the Caddo Public School System, and I'd be happy to help out on the Industrial Development Board in any way I can. I'm a licensed real estate broker in Texas and Louisiana, and I am a CCIM for what that's worth to anybody, but anyway, thank you.
You've been a CCI.
The master realtor, there's very few of those.
I thought I heard somebody
CCIM is a professional designation, and
Tell us what it is. That's what I, you told me. That's what I was gonna ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
How well do you know John Escobar?
I know John just socially.
Oh, okay.
That could be bad.
That ain't good.
Yeah, that could them run with a bad crowd, I
That ain't
guess.
good. Commissioner
Oh,
Epperson.
y'all have a beer together?
Commissioner Epperson.
No, I was just gonna ask you how many of those letters you got in front of your name and after your name. Now you say you're a CC what?
CCIM is a certified commercial investment member of the CCIM Institute.
All right then.
It's just a professional designation. It was a,
I'm a member of the NAACP.
okay.
Thank you.
You didn't get your notice?
That's all I ask.
Commissioner
Okay.
Smith.
Roger and I have been in many battles with Bell's Department Stores, and I can tell you, he wins. He knows how to work.
I've known Jim Smith for a long time in our previous livelihoods.
Survived and made money, Bill.
That's right. So if there are no more questions,
That's it. Please
okay,
vote.
thank you.
That passes.
To adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.
swing a little bit.
So what y'all?
Oh, yeah?
I didn't want to say that.
Right, no, just let it go. Well, you know.
Oh, you say whales? Oh, yeah, whales, okay, yeah. I like whales, yeah, nice. But you know what, some places in Texas, I've seen some whales still open in Caddo.
Why we can't go on clear these 4 out? This is the only ones we have?
But see, when it
Why we
goes
can't
to
clear
that,
these 4 out?
when it goes to that LBC,
Yeah, that is an upside, I guess.
and even here, it could be with other projects in the state.
We'll see y'all.
With other projects in the state, they rank them, so they only fund so much out of the money they have.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, we only have these 4. How do we go up?
And then too much you can do with something like that.
No, there's not.